Hey y'all, this is BreiEndia, my 90-day self-journeys retreat in 808 Tavern. Today is August 8th, 2020. It is still Saturday. I'm out here at night. Yes, I'm in this little parking lot up the street from the house that I'm staying in right now in Cali. I'm enjoying every bit of my time here. I'm realizing that I'm fulfilling my intention on being here so much quicker than I anticipated. So, I'm preparing myself to potentially get back on the road soon. But I'm so glad to have been able to connect with myself in such a way that I feel like I am in a evolving comfort position. So I'm gonna jump right into it. 808, this day is a day of self-connect. And 808 is something that comes from many things, So I say I carry 808 Tavern around with me because I look at it and view it on the spiritual level, but generally I respect it for everything that it's already been given a title for, as far as, the bass that it brings when it comes to music, because of, the 808 that was created in the 80s. For that reason, that's a big factor and a big component of the music world and the world of entertainment. I also correlate it with disturbing the peace. And I look at the art form and the creativity of 808. So disturbing the peace is like, creativity disturbs the peace, but in a positive way. It's to enlighten, it's to bring intuition, it's to awaken. That is the way of the 808. It's the creative entry and opening and vibrational uplifting. And that frequency of sound is everything when it comes to what we believe, how we feel, how we maneuver. And sometimes we don't even recognize that frequency alone of sound is what is needed to make, wiser decisions, and open up our mind to possibilities and being more, just being more aware of the betterment of ourselves and the people around us and the world in general. And so my personal view when it comes to 808 Tavern is number 8 is like, bringing abundance, bringing prosperity, bringing, evolvement, bringing ideas, things like that. And then, the number 0 is something that is like a loop. So I look at it like, okay, so 8 looks like an infinity sign, and then 0 is like a circle. So I viewed it and took that whole spiritual aspect of as the 8 in the beginning was who I was. And that whole process was important because I would never forget who I was. It still is a part of who I am, but who I'm becoming sometimes is not going to include those things. So the 0 is the loop. That is the part in the journey where I hopped into my spiritual awareness and realities more in tune with what is going on in my life with the cycles, looking at those cycles of loops, and actually defining my purpose and finding my mission, and actually using the time to focus on those circles, those cycles, those loops, and see how I can be able to break cycles, break chains, break limitations, and raise myself even higher than where I was and where I am. And then, to cross over into the other side of the 808 to the last 8 is getting into that infinite realm of possibilities where I have ascended and in the abilities and am able to believe in myself in such a way that nothing is stopping me, that I'm capable of all things, and believing in that higher power of God within myself, within us all, and even looking on the grand scale of my life, versus how before, it was just about me, but in a sense where I didn't understand a lot about life. But once you reach that point of the circle, at least you're able to choose what you can focus on, when it comes to your creative abilities, your professional abilities, relationship abilities, your abilities of existing are necessary to be nurtured and catered to. And when it comes to this 808, you have to be willing to realize that there are going to be things you need to sacrifice. There are things that you need to focus on before There are going to be things you need to focus on before yourself even. And then once you get to a point where you believe in yourself, you have a systematic cycle that is more beneficial to mankind, humanity, and just the grander picture. That's when you have kind of crossed over into the part of the 808 that is on the other side. And then you're getting into the infinite side of possibilities that are even beyond the expansion of where your mind was in the beginning of the 808. So I hope that made sense. I hope I've really kind of delved into, the slight understanding of my view of 808, what 808 Tavern means to me. All this traveling that I'm doing, I'm trying to incorporate, more time into myself, yes, and into my healing and into my growth as an individual. I can't help that I love to, be expressive with others and see others' expressions and hear other people. And I love music. I hear music as a form of messages constantly given in a frequency that is supposed to be given to be able to awaken you and understand things that need to be said in order for people to be able to think outside of their own box that they keep themselves confined in. And I'm thankful to all of the musicians, the artists, and the people in, history thus far who have made so many barriers be broken just by making songs that allow people like myself to hear the world and hear the higher power express himself through his creative children, his creative beings. And as we all have God within us, that just means that we are the major component of God. And you have to choose to allow yourself to feel that love and embrace the greatness that he places within us all in order for us to be able to vibrate in a higher point and to level up in humanity. And that's how I view the entire aspect of the 808. And I hope that that explains it to the point where, it's enough. I have a lot more to say about it, but in a general and most basic form, that is 808 Tavern, that is BreiEndia, and that is the self-journey component of the 808 Tavern for me. In looking at it in that point of view, always keeps me aligned. It's helping me to balance. These are things that I am very much so evolving into, and I actually embrace and appreciate every bit of the journey, the people I've met along the way, the good, the bad, the ups, the downs, and having observation, acceptance, forgiveness, all those things, all of those tie in, reading, filling my mind with knowledge, educating myself as well, having actual experience, going back to my environment and being around people that I don't know, but then people that I do know, and reconnecting with my loved ones on a different way so that they can get to know who I'm becoming, rather than staying stuck in knowing who I was, understanding the importance of raising my vibrations to me, and understanding that it is not something that I'm just doing for myself. Although I'm starting with myself, it is ultimately because I want to be able to pour into others. And as I'm going to be doing more, as many interviews as I can on this go round of my trip, 808 Tavern is going to be something that includes, all forms of types of art. It will evolve for more than just musicians, and rappers. It will evolve to where I want to be able to sit with, having chat sessions, interview sessions with artists, Black entrepreneurs, musicians, politicians, whoever is willing to have a seat with me and speak on their viewpoint in life right now, regardless of the negative things that are going on and taking place that we can't control. More so looking at how we can contribute as individuals, how we can make great change to our mind frame as individuals. Not change in a negative way, but more so to shift the mind frame from focusing on irrelevant and unnecessary things, and more so contemplating on how to raise ourselves to the point where we're able to level with others without even speaking, to be able to understand how to pour into someone from a distance just from technology. We can use it for better reasons and better ways than what we've used it. And we can allow ourselves to, rather than, repeating history in a negative way, we can bring ourselves up to a point where we connect and we level up, and that we allow ourselves to lift each other up as well, no matter what generation or culture. And that is something that has to grow. And it does have to start with Black people, I believe, because a lot of Black people and a lot of minorities have traumas that are deeply rooted. And it's sometimes not even connected to our own lifetime of existence. It's sometimes connected to the existence of our ancestors and the people before us who did not heal and who tried as a group, as a people, as a human, origin, as an era. They tried to make changes. And some of those people are still here today, waiting and awaiting the time where they at least see something change that they have desired to see. And there has been changes, don't get me wrong, but there's still a lot of work to do. And I view it as, a constant, because it is infinite. But once you have realized and recognized in that circle that you are in a cycle, or that you are in cycles, you have to choose what cycles are necessary to deplete, erase, and allow to evolve into something bigger and better and become infinite, in a way to elevate your purpose, your existence, and help you contribute to the existence and the elevation and purpose of humanity. And that's just for some, not for all. I know not everyone is interested in anything outside of themselves, their home and their personal family and their immediate family. But for those who are a person who feels like they want to nurture the world, it's okay to feel that way. And that's something that is a piece of you that you should embrace, because the more you embrace it, the more you will open up your understanding of who you are in this time frame and how you can contribute to that evolvement of the human race and of your community and of the people around you and of great change. And oh yes, and the 808 is something that, this is my first 808, yes, because 2020 is when I chose to actually focus and hone in on the 808. But ultimately, it is going to be something that is continuous. So, whether I do a 90-day retreat next year, or I just solely focus on 808 Tavern next year to be able to evolve around other people and get to know other people in the arts, as I was mentioning, as well as in politics and in other forms of areas of work. I am excited about utilizing 808 in a bigger aspect, and hopefully growing to a building one day, an actual place or places around the USA nation, and then evolving and expanding to other countries. But right now, it's just a matter of applying the 808 to the invisible world, as I would say, because that's where it begins. Everything that I'm doing started within, no matter what the physical of my life looked like. Even if I wasn't where I wanted to be physically, where I am right now in my inner body and my spirit is where I belong, because this is where I am in a way of growth. I still feel like I have pieces of my circle that I'm still trying to put together before I completely am on the other side of my 808. But I do feel as though that's a constant to go through, sometimes revisiting the first 8 in order to be able to go back to the 0 and get back over to this infinite 8 on the other side of the 808. And that's just how I view it. Be sure that you all are looking towards infinite possibilities. Even if just for yourself and your family, set your goals, set your intentions, plan, understand that not all planning is going to be pulled through, but it all depends on the effort and the time that you put into it, and actually being willing to understand that a lot of times the things you do require more than just you, plain and simple. So I'm going to leave that there. I hope that you all are having a blessed and wonderful week. That you all are highly favored, that you are having joyful congratulations in your life, and that you are able to overcome any obstacles that are stepping in your way, helping you drive forward. And this is BreiEndia and my 90-day self-journeys retreat in 808 Tavern. And God bless. Bye.